Alright, what's going on everybody, Slim here, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I have a commentary for y'all, and basically I'm going to be helping you guys with your Storm build going into Novice pretty soon here in the next coming months. I'm expecting Novice to be dropping in roughly about 2 months from this time frame. So I figured, again, with Rage dropping, and it's been a while since the last world, I wanted to be sure everybody was up to date on their gear and ready to quest to 160. So yeah, I'm gonna start with Storm in this video, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So now a couple of things have changed around for Storm, and also just like the overall game design as well. Real quick, I want to say a lot of this stuff is subjective. Obviously, if you want to slightly change something in this build, you can go ahead. I'm just going for, obviously max pips, accuracy, the best health, damage, pierce, crit, yada yada, all that stuff, right? Resist doesn't really matter because every mob now gets like, 30 to 50 pierce, right? So resist doesn't really matter that much in PvE. So it's not really a stat worth going for, in my opinion, at least until, pierce goes down in PvE, right? You look at the raids, for example, mobs in there got like 60 pierce. Even with a proof to 5 pet and a resist hat here, you can maybe get like, 40? It's just not worth it. So yeah, you get about 7.8k health, 182 damage, 17 resist, max accuracy, really good crit. Block is kind of low, but it doesn't really matter in PvE. 47 pierce, which is like sky high. That's really good for PvE. Max pips, 115 shads, 35 conserved. So it's very similar to the Malistaire build, but there's a couple things that get changed around. So we are rocking the Dragoon hat with the Raid Nullity robe. Now I'm gonna compare this robe side by side to Malistaire so you guys can see, side by side what the trade-offs are. So yeah, side by side, this is Malistaire versus the Raid robe. Now obviously we're going to be talking about a lot of this stuff, but pretty much all that changes is you're gaining damage, right? You have the same crit and you're gaining a whopping 6 pierce, and you're also gaining, I believe, almost 600 to 700 health off of this robe, which is a very important stat nowadays, with how difficult Lemuria is, and how much more difficult Novice will be getting as well. Again, you maybe only lose some resist, but when the pierce is so high on the bosses and the mobs, I don't think the 7 resist really matters, in my opinion. I think having more health, more damage, and way more pierce is definitely way more of a priority right now. Now, is Malistaire robe bad? No, obviously not. It's still a solid robe. You don't really need to upgrade your build, in my opinion, for Malistaire, but it will objectively be worse than if you're gonna run the Nullity robe, right? Now, you could use this logic in Novice or Lemuria. You can obviously see Nullity robe. It will just be better there. But even assuming through lower level worlds like Celestia or something, the Nullity robe just gives literally more damage, right, with the same crit, but more health. And you get 6 pierce for hitting their shields, maybe a fortify, and maybe you can ignore going for a prism on some bosses, right, when you're trying to speed quest, right? So I definitely think Nullity is going to be the way to go. So yeah, to reiterate, we have Dragoon, Nullity, Merciless Boots, Merciless Wand, essentially. I have the Headmaster Staff, though, which is basically the same stats as Merciless, but this is like the pay-to-win version of it, I guess. You basically get a Mass Storm Trap item card and a Silencing Wall item card here, which is pretty cool. And I guess you get a Supercharge, which is pretty neat as well. Merciless, a theme with a 15% accuracy socket. I am personally actually running the Flaglob's Medallion. I like this over Dragoon. This is what I'm saying with the subjective part of the video, by the way. I prefer this because you get the same resist, right? But you get 35 crit, which again, that just affects your multiplier, so you're doing more damage. And you gain 4 pierce, which is really good, right? Again, when you hit their shields, brace, or a storm boss, or a storm mob, right? That's very, very valuable. And I think a lot of people are going to have universal resist in novice if they're going to take some inspiration away from the raids, right? Every single mob and boss in the raid has universal resist, so Pierce is going to be a lot more valuable now. So with getting a bonus of 4 Pierce, but then also getting a bigger crit multiplier, I prefer Flag Lobs as a Storm. There's nothing wrong with going for Dragoon. If you would like to do that, you know, go for it, you know. I'm not going to stop you. It's really good as well, but I just prefer the Flag Lobs. Merciless Ring, obviously, right? Nothing really compares to that at the moment. Then obviously we have the Philosopher here. You could swap out a damage, like a Bringer, for a Piercer or a Breaker if you want to get yourself up to like 51 Pierce, but I like to just max out my damage stats personally. Then obviously we got the Chompy Bronto for the 6 extra damage on the set bonus, and I'm running this deck right now because it gives me the biggest crit multiplier out of every deck that I have found in the game so far, and pretty good health as well. So I suggest this again for the crit multiplier. But yeah, that's really all there is for the build. Now real quick before I get out of here, I'm going to compare the Malister build to the obviously Melody Robe I just showed you guys. So basically, right, you get roughly the same damage. You actually gain 1 damage with this. I believe this is only because the difference is right here in terms of the Goon and Merciless hat, right? You gain, I think, 4 damage right here. You have to downgrade to get the max pips on the Nullity Robe. So that is the only reason that you're 1 damage up. But keep in mind, 1 damage isn't that big of a deal when you're losing 800 health. 800 health could mean literally life or death in PvE, right? 31 resist here, which again doesn't really matter when everybody pierces. Max accuracy, about the same crit. Block is about the same. You lose pierce, perfect pips, and about the same shads, right? So I would say for the most part, it is a minor upgrade, right? You're essentially trading 1 damage for 800 more health, right? And 6 more pierce or something like that. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you learned something new. Let me know what you guys think is better in the comments below. Obviously, it's a subjective video, but I think Melody Robe is just objectively better in my humble opinion. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what you guys think of the build in the comments below. But yeah, without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching this far, and as always, take care, guys.